we did okay.
Yeah.
Nothing major.
But boy, did Mother Nature get a freak on last.
Hi there, it's 8 a.m. by the clock. It's time for the Breakfast Club. I'm Sonal, Mehrotra, Kapoor. It's Friday and we've got lots of talks to do today regarding fashion and influencing, vlogging as well. So buckle up and get ready for this TBC ride.
Yeah, we're also going to be taking you into a very, very interesting, a very cool residency and all of its details, how it works, how it's blending Indian and international design together. That and more right here on the show. I'm Toya Singh. Let's take a look first at all of the headlines. All right, first, as we promised, we're revisiting something that we actually took a look at a few days ago, vlogging. Earlier, we told you about what it is like, what its impact is. If you're a vlogger, how do you decide the boundaries between what to show, what not to show? Today, we bring you the business of vlogging. So we're going to be taking a deeper look at the kind of money vloggers are taking in, how big an industry it is, what the biggest niches are in this, and why it's a particularly interesting segment these days. We'll be taking a deeper look right here.
Indian artisanship meets global design, transforming traditional craft into contemporary brilliance. We meet today on the program our person of interest, Shalini Mishra. She's bridging cultures through creativity. She's also doing philanthropy that fuels innovation in art. Global talents are now uniting here in India to celebrate India's rich heritage. We'll give you a glimpse of that.
And after that, we bring you, because it's Friday, a little bit of a dip into the entertainment world with the villain speaking. And what do we mean when we say that? She's the dark side of Ye Kali Kali Aankhein Season 2. Puba's Revenge. We'll have with us actor Anchal Singh on her complex character and how she built in the nuances. She reveals everything that went on behind the scenes and what she's looking forward to.
And it's TGIF, so let's get you a lowdown on your entertainment for the weekend. There is Stars at Wars from Nayanthara and Dhanush's bitter battle to A.R. Rahman's riff to Diljit Dosanjh's Hyderabad concert. All the controversies there in our TGIF wrap.
Our first story though. Every day, millions of creators are hitting record on their phones. But what does it really take to take and turn a camera or your iPhone into a career? In the discussion we've had already in the last few days, we've explored the blurred lines between personal life and performance, the constant pressure to stay relevant, and of course the mental toll that it can have on you if you decide to turn a camera on your personal life and your everyday. We've talked about all of that. But vlogging isn't just about the struggles, it's also a phenomenon that has transformed modern storytelling, giving creators the power to turn their passion into a global brand. Now, let's just take a look at some of these amazing numbers that you have coming out of the industry. The Indian vlogging industry, as we speak, it's estimated to be worth 120 crores and it's expected to grow at a CAGR, compound annual growth rate of 30% by 2025. Now, there are over 1 lakh active vloggers as we speak in the country. The majority of them are creating content for one platform. And we'll talk a little bit about why it's that one platform, YouTube. But according to Bazooka, which is one of these services, they say that the top niches, so the top areas where you'll see vloggers making content, number one, right on top, you have beauty and fashion, 34%. Gaming's a huge one, and it's one that's evolved over the last few years, 23%. Travels at 17%, foods at 12%, lifestyles at 10%. So numbers cutting in there in similar areas.
But let's also talk about the art and business of vlogging. And of course, some numbers over there also that we whipped up for you. Now, the average earnings of Indian vloggers, and for those still wondering if it's a serious business or not, well, think again. Because 50,000 to 1 lakh per month for micro influencers, about 1 lakh to 5 lakh per month for mid-tier influencers, 5 lakh to 20 lakh per month for top tier as well. And what started as a simple act of just sharing personal diaries online has evolved into a multi-billion-dollar industry with endless niches. The world of travel vlogs, relatability of lifestyle content, growing trend of silent vlogging, we'll talk about that on the program as well, and much, much more. Vlogging has become sort of a kaleidoscope of genres, each catering to its own dedicated audience. YouTube, by the way, and listen to this carefully, may have paved the way, but platforms like Instagram, even LinkedIn, are changing how content is created, shared, and even consumed. In fact, the most popular vlogging platforms in India include YouTube at about 70% consumption, that's obvious. But Instagram is gradually catching up, it's at 21%. Facebook, not really there, but still picking up at about 3% or so.
Yes, so short form content is dominating attention spans. We continue to see that, but long form storytelling. So what we're talking about today, vlogging, it still holds a very, very loyal following. And these are people who are typically staying on to watch a 30-minute video sometimes. And let's not forget the business of vlogging. The industry itself, it's estimated to be worth about $10 billion globally. What does it take to build a sustainable career in such a fast-paced, competitive space? To understand all of that, we have with us some guests today.
Yeah, we've given you a sneak peek into the business. But if you are somebody watching right now and wants to get into vlogging, wants to understand the business of it or how to thrive in what would seem like an already career at a peak, let's bring you some insights over there with our guests. Joining us today is Viraj Seth. He's the co-founder and CEO of Monk Entertainment. He's often called the king of content as well. He's the man behind all these vloggers and content creators. So he'll give you an insight into what it takes. Also with us is Yashi from Suyash Vlogs. So Yashi and her partner, they are the ones who are really acing the vlogging game. So many questions, Yashi, before we sort of get into you, but but let me start with Viraj over there. Viraj, for anybody watching right now, looking at these numbers and wondering, is it already an exhausted space or is there still scope? If yes, what genres are going to be picking up? Give us some tips.
Hey, so while these numbers look very exciting and massive, there is a lot of hard work, of course, that goes into vlogging completely, because when you start vlogging, you effectively need to realize that you're giving away a big part of your lives to the public, and that can get toxic, that can get challenging, that can get difficult because it's really intrusive. Now, as a society, us Indians, we are very voyeuristic in nature, and that's why this kind of content really works. That's why Big Boss, for example, really works in India a lot, which is why people love getting a peek into your lives. So it's up to you how much of it you want to show. There's very different kinds of formats in vlogging that are really working now. You have travel vloggers that are really working. You have vloggers that are vlogging casually. While they may not be traveling as much, they're talking about their existing lives while living in one of the cities in India on a daily basis. There are fitness vloggers that are documenting the journey of, getting into shape or doing a certain kind of fitness challenge that are getting really popular. So I feel like vlogging, while initially it started with YouTube as its primary platform, which in a way was pioneered by someone called Mumbaikar Nikhil, for example, who was
Yeah.
into motor vlogging, where he would just cover his travels on a bike, on a motorcycle, has evolved into tens of different kinds of formats now. And that's really interesting to see because, generally as an audience, we're really keen in watching what other people have to offer,
Yeah.
what is happening in their lives, what's the kind of drama, what's the kind of achievements, what's the kind of insider access that I could get. Very interesting. There's a journalist, a video journalist that travels with the Indian cricket team called Vimal, who gives you an insider access into
Yes.
into the dressing room,
Yeah.
which is so exciting to watch. So there are so many niches that have been built into vlogging per se. You see a lot of celebrity influencers now trying to do vlogging. You have Alana Pandey, for example, giving you a peek
Right.
into what happens into the whole celebrity household. For example, you have Ori, which is basically vlogging. He's giving you an insider access into India's biggest, richest, most exclusive events. All of this is vlogging, if you look at it from that lens. And people, it's addictive. People want to have more and more of it.
Viraj, that insight that you gave, that Indian audiences love to see what's happening in people's personal lives, that's a really fascinating one. And we also have with us, as we said earlier, Yashi. And Yashi, you do this. You're a vlogger. You have millions of people watching. You've actually built out your vlogging into an entire business that also, let me just tell our audiences, if you go to the Suyash vlog on YouTube, you can actually see shopping links and stuff because you even, you've connected with marketers. So it's quite interesting how you've built out that franchise. But Yashi, if we could ask you a little bit more over here about the business and the numbers behind the scenes. So tell us, we know audiences love to see personal life and most of the videos you're showing are about, kya chal raha hai ghar mein. I saw recently you posted a video about a prank you played on family members. But tell us, which are the videos that are getting the most views? Conceptually, what do you find audiences gravitate towards? So within personal life, what are the videos that are getting the most clicks?
To start with, people love watching, what's new. What's your relation? How are your relationships working with your mom, with your dad, with your sister? For example, because Suraj and I are both friends, people want to know what's more in this relationship. Why are we working together? Is there something more than friendship? So, as Viraj said, people always want to know what's really going on in your personal life. And if I talk about what really works, I think whenever we post something that's related to our family, that's related to how we react to a certain incident in our life, people really love watching it. And I think that gets the maximum views. Or if you try to as you said, I made this really funny prank where I cut my long hair and I show it to my parents, and then the way they are reacting, people want to see that reaction. So it's really the reaction and the emotions that draws the attention.
Right, but Yashi, can I ask you this? Recently there was an OTT series that really blew up the internet. It was called Call Me Bae. It was all about vlogging. The relationship started with that, and then it also sort of gives you a glimpse into what went wrong, right? So is that a serious concern in the longevity of how long one can stay a vlogger? Or is vlogging today, and if Viraj can sort of come in on this as well, or is vlogging today just another aspect that you need to have as a content creator? Yashi first and then, yeah.
Yeah, so I think talking about the longevity, it's always the audience that you're targeting. So when we started, we wanted to target people, we wanted to target the younger people, we wanted to actually have the kind of audience that, relate to us. Like we were that time around 20, and now we have grown, and our audience have also grown. So targeting the kind of audience that you want to target is very, very important because they grows with you. It's been 5 years in this industry, and now when we check comments on our vlogs, the whole family, they sit together and they watch our videos. And that's why we started the brand that we started. It has outfits for each age group. We have couples, and we are also planning on introducing family coordinating clothes. So it's always the audience that you want to cater, and the longevity, the relevance, it just follows.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the longevity of the creator depends on their endurance to keep churning out content. It's like how much of your life can you keep making interesting to put it in front of the camera is your longevity. Basically, how can you get the audiences hooked? What more about your life is not revealed yet that can be interesting to the viewer, or what can you produce fresh that might seem interesting to the viewer, is the answer to the question. More from a business side of things, I feel like vlogging does, because it's not shot indoors effectively, like a lot of your infotainment formats, like a tech video or just a beauty video, for example. It does take more production out of you. It does take
Yeah.
more energy out of you. Also, as a vlogger, you can't just be bland, like when you're trying to disseminate information, for example. You have to have a certain kind of energy. You have to have, actually, one very important aspect of vlogging that most people don't talk about is you need to have a funny enough friend group.
How
You
interesting.
can't drive the vlog yourself. Even if you look to the west, there are big vloggers like David Dobrik and Logan Paul and guys like
Yeah.
these, and they always had 4 or 5 characters around them. And there's always a funny guy. There's always someone you poke fun at. There's guys, folks like those all around you at times, because a lot of these times, I mean, not everything happens for real, because look at this nuance. Something funny is happening. What if your camera is not on as a vlogger?
Oh gosh.
That's the real tragedy for a vlogger. That, do I live in the real moment or do I live for the camera? So I've also seen some vloggers literally at weddings tell people, hey, if you guys are going to say something funny, alert me 5 seconds in advance so I can turn on my camera. And it's crazy, but the thing is that there's too much hustle in it. I posted a story yesterday which actually said that vloggers that are vlogging for YouTube and Instagram separately, it's just insane amounts of work, because you need to shoot with 2 phones, 2 cameras. You need to have a different kind of hook and angle for your YouTube vlogs, because it's longer format. It's about 10 minutes odd, so you need to go much deeper into what happened, as opposed to Instagram Reels, where you need to cut it short within like 60 to 90 seconds. So the storytelling over there completely differs from YouTube. So it really is an art. There's a lot of thinking that goes into how will you release each vlog, what will the edit look like, what will the story look like, and if you're ready for that life, and if you do really want to make this kind of 5 to 20 lakhs a month, then you should just know it's not easy.
Viraj, tell us.
Endurance, he's saying, it's family, it's
But it's
friends,
hard work
it's
is
a
also-
lot of hard work. Like this is just sounding okay.
Can we just ask you though, and Viraj, we'll take this to you. You run Monk Entertainment. If you just look at their, roster of artists, you've got people on Instagram who have, millions in following. You also have podcasters, you have vloggers. So you have a few different formats that are coming out. Therefore, that also means that you probably have some very interesting insights into Indian viewers, but also for Indian creators. Not just how difficult it is, because you've kind of shown us the difference between Instagram and YouTube, but just take us into the numbers. Tell us about what Indian viewers are like a little bit more for each of these different formats.
So I feel like, the average, I hate using the word, but the average Gen Z viewer is like far different from, your average millennial viewer. Also, like earlier, the whole thought and trend was that we'll make super fast-paced, clickbaity kind of videos, which is now slowly transitioning into slower moving videos, more conscious videos. People showing about how slow mornings are the real luxury, for example. They're showing about how, maybe they're just slowing down, they're taking it easy. It's not as much about hustling all the time. It's about spending your time wisely, because you're not going to live for that long and stuff like that. So the formats have changed like that. How we generally scout a creator is, we try to seek what kind of content they are making, if that is a new niche, or if there is some kind of consumption or demand for that kind of content. And we do that by basically surveying our office, which has about 100 Gen Z employees. So we have a decent sample size within our office itself, in order to understand what the market is looking like. And I'm 29. Most of my team is about 23, 24. That's the average age. But I feel like there's like 30 years worth of age difference amongst the way we consume things. At this point, I don't even know what's the newest trending kind of format, what's the most popular meme, which is the new creator that's popping up now. Because my algorithm is just not feeding me that kind of stuff anymore. So what I have started recommending my team as well is that start a completely new account and just consume things that we would like to be invested in. Consume the kind of creators that we would like to sign up in the future. That's how our real life and work life will be segregated. Because I'm not someone that would consume a lot of depth of beauty
Yeah.
content, for
Yeah.
example. My feed is full of tennis videos, but
I
we
get it.
have.
I get what Viraj is saying. He's basically saying that, your Instagram feed and your algo is basically what you want to see. It becomes a bit of a ghetto. And it's important to sort of get out of it and understand what's happening on the outside. It's a good point. But what heavy baat ho gayi yaar? People watching right now are saying, yeah, vlogging used to be fun. When did it become like such serious business, endurance, and you need to have great friends and great family who all agree to come on air and a partner who will be okay with it. But Yashi, give us some fun parts also, yaar. Matlab, somebody watching right now is saying that, listen, itna jitna cool dikhta hai, utna hai nahi. I don't want them taking away that from there. For somebody watching, give us your top 3 tips on what to do if you're thinking about vlogging.
Okay, honestly, +1 on everything Virat said, because it is about endurance. It is about to have a family and a group of friends that's funny and, can also talk about life, in your videos. And honestly, when we also started, we did not have a family, but we had our friends. And honestly, people watch our channel because they see this group of friends who have fun all the time, and they stay together, they celebrate everything together, all the milestones. People have seen us growing together, so it's a different kind of connection. And yeah, because we do daily vlogging, we have to upload a video at 1 p.m. every day. And if we miss by 5 minutes also, we start getting comments, we start getting messages, we start, yeah, our inbox is like filled with mails. So it is actually a connection that you build with your audience. आप 1 minute भी late करो, they know that your vlog is now late and you're not uploading, and what happened, is everything fine with your family. So of course, it's a hustle. You have to keep your camera on like 24/7. In fact, we have 2 people appointed especially for this. Ek is doing vertical, and another one is with YouTube frame all the time with us, behind us. But the community that we have built is like our family today. क्योंकि वो हमारे साथ 24 घंटे रहते हैं. They know every bit of it. And sometimes, when I forget about certain things, कि मैंने कहाँ रखा है मेरे घर में, they will comment and let me know, अरे वहाँ रखा है. So, that's the kind of connection we have with our audience, and that's the kind of love we receive.
We've seen that sometimes we have guests on the show and they'll have someone recording them as they're on the show with us. So there'll be someone standing behind. I don't know if that's happening right now with you. Yashi, Viraj, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for bringing us so much insight about Indian audiences. We're a very interesting bunch, huh?
Very, very interesting. We don't just want Big Boss, we also want everybody, a camera in everybody's house, and we want to understand how that's going. But jokes apart, there is serious business in all of this. There is numbers, there's money, and you just heard from the expert there on what you should be doing or perhaps not doing if you're thinking about vlogging. On that note, we're going to slip into a break. Coming up on the other side, we take you to an entirely different meaning of fashion and design. How is India now taking center stage on global design? How are making Indian traditional designs contemporary, even cool? We'll meet a very interesting person on the other side of this very quick break.
Concerns you about content creators?
Okay, do a quick.
I didn't mean to startle you.
We had some trees come down and a lot of things blew around, but we did okay.
Yeah.
Nothing major.
But boy, did Mother Nature get a freak on last night. It was pretty gusty. I mean, it was to the point where it sounded like a freight train going through when it came, and you could just see those trees bending pretty well. Even the stalwart, sturdy trees were going pretty good on the side, being blown over. So lots of branches falling everywhere, smaller branches, hopefully not too big of branches, but you didn't want to be out in it.
All right, on to our person of interest today. We bring you an internationally celebrated interior architect, designer and property developer. Her design studio, with offices in London, Milan, New York, Delhi and Dubai, is dedicated to creating elegant, timeless, sustainable interiors and prioritize the well-being of its inhabitants. Now committed to philanthropy, Shalini Mishra, who's with us in the studio today, is trustee and mentor of the UK charity Vahani Scholarship Trust, and now has announced the inaugural Shakti Design Residency.
Let's tell you a little bit about it. It's a first of its kind initiative. It was launched with the intention of bridging the Indian artisanship in general, the community, with global design. Each year, what the program does is it issues an open call for applications. Shalini then draws up a shortlist with an entire panel, I believe it's not just you, before 5 successful applicants are chosen by a prestigious jury of international designers and creative thinkers. All of the residents that are then chosen, they spend a month in India. They're collaborating with prominent ateliers and artisans to create new work for exhibition and major global art and design events. Before we go ahead, take a look.
I would say it's less about trying to present it in any other way. I think with design in particular, history and uniqueness can come into play even more so than fashion. But at the end of the day, it's also like how you present it. So I think the interesting challenge is going to be like, how do you connect the dots between, right, everything you're talking about and making it, just to put it bluntly, like cool? Because at the end of the day, that's what kind of creates a cultural zeitgeist moment, right? Luxury fashion, by the way, until 20 years ago, was a very small market.
Be very mindful as designers of how we tap into your craft. I really don't want this to become something where we come and we exploit your ideas and we see that they're interesting and we try to make it ours. I think it's very important that it is in conversation with the craftsmen and with the people who are behind the work. So also to make this more modern in a way and to make it relevant, because I feel like this is perhaps what you're asking about. I feel like there's a space for experimenting with the traditional way of making. And if you allow us, the designers, and if you allow the makers here to have this space, to have this intimate space of where the experimentation can happen, this is when we're gonna start seeing new things based on your heritage, based on your tradition, but also respecting the culture.
Where India shines is in what makes India so special. You know, India has captured the global attention. I think India is in the global spotlight right now for this exuberant aesthetic that is pervasive in India, across fashion, across design, home, jewelry. There's so many categories, right? And it's just incredible. Ayurvedic beauty. I mean, you really can't think of a categorical concept that India isn't sitting in a forefront presence culturally speaking.
All right, so that was just a little bit of a glimpse of what is happening there. Shalini's, of course, with us here in the studio. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, I got a glimpse of something that you do, Shalini, yesterday, but I want you to sort of explain to us what Shakti Residency is doing at a time when the globe is looking at India and Indian artisans. How exactly is this program going to work in taking Indian designs to a global stage?
So, Shakti is really a creative force, and it's getting all these really fantastic talent, emerging talent, bringing them to India, exposing them to the wealth of fine artisanship which India has to offer. So there's a difference between handicrafts and fine master craftsmen, beautiful work that we do here. So the global talent that comes here sees some of these ateliers, works with some of these ateliers, makes beautiful products and designs, which will then be exhibited in different parts of the world, starting with Salone in Milan in April. And it's very, very exciting for them. It's very exciting for us. It's just showcasing the wealth that India has in fine artisanship.
Yeah. Shalini, tell us, when you're speaking to these young artists that you select for the residency, what are the insights they share with you, and that what are they most taken aback by when they come to India? Because the fact that we have craftsmen that are creating this quality of work is a well-known fact, possibly for these artists too. So what do they learn when they're coming here? Tell us more about that.
You know, even when I come back, and I come back very often to India, when you see it actually happening in front of you, it really is mind-blowing. And so for most of them, it's the first time they've actually come to India. And then to see these techniques, which are years and years old, getting a contemporary leash of design is breathtaking.
Yeah, yeah. But to take that point, Shalini, we already know that Christian Dior is doing embroidery in India, Chanel is doing embroidery in India. But how do we go from becoming the backroom production house of the world to taking Indian design and letting it flourish in its full form? You know, there is a delicacy there.
It's a very, very valid point, and it's a very important point. And, you know, we really have to work hard to make that well known. There's so many, like, say, the Cartier brothers came hundreds of years ago. They saw the different gemstones. They saw how gemstones could be carved. All that was new. They came out with the Tutti Frutti collection, but they attribute it to India. Similarly, there are so many of these wonderful ateliers. They need to be shown abroad, and that's the endeavor of Shakti too.
Right. Can you tell us a little more there, though? Because I know that something I read about sometimes is fashion designers, Indian fashion designers, talking a little bit about how their fashion or the art and pieces they create are known in the context of weddings or celebrations abroad, sometimes referred to as costume clothing, right? But the work that you're doing is to kind of center and give a lot of importance to these clothes and to art, for example. Tell us a little bit more about what that process actually looks like.
So this fashion, the couture, and that's doing extremely well, you know, in India and abroad, thanks to the weddings, thanks to Indian feeling really proud about the heritage. Art, Indian art with the most amazing modern masters and contemporary artists is also doing really well in the global market. I go to Frieze Art Show in London. There's so many fantastic Indian galleries represented there. But design, what is collective design? What should you collect? Why is it so important to have a fabulous piece of furniture, a fabulous piece of rug or tapestry? That is the knowledge, the technique, how it's done. That is the knowledge that really needs to be shared, and it's still very, very unknown in the global context.
Yeah, you've put it across quite nicely. But you know, one thing I picked up yesterday while speaking with all these really cool jurors who've come here and who are talking to Indians, sort of soaking in India and Indian art and heritage, was the challenge seems to be that how do you adapt India in its full Indianness and go beyond and make it cool in a way for a global audience? How do you do that? What's your mindset there?
It is just getting like the emerging talent that we have. There's somebody from Japan, and her intake on how she sees the embroidery being done in Chanakya school, her colors. She uses very interesting tribal forms which she has researched from India, and she mixes it with very, very fine embroidery. It's layers and layers of work, but it is very cool because it's very contemporary. So, you know, before, obviously you have very old techniques, but you didn't have the modern ways of adding layers to it, which today you do. So I think that is the added advantage in the global world we are today.
Can we also ask you your thoughts on the conversation around the need to protect Indian craftspeople as they embark with working with, for example, international designers and fashion houses?
So, as you are all very well aware, there are these master craftspeople, master artisans. Their children are not really following it because there's not enough money in it, and there is not enough respect in it. You know, who wants to do that? So now, if there is something that they have mastered and they're recognized for that, and there's fantastic awards in India. Like I have a Madhubani artist, she comes. She's illiterate, but she's been awarded by the President of India. And she used to hide and do all this artwork till she was recognized. And then her village understood what she was all about. And now she's a phenomena. So I think that is what we are trying to preserve.
Right, that's an incredible story. I almost wish we could keep you here to hear more stories like that, you know. These artists who are doing it, they're so passionate about it and they're almost doing it in a hidden way. That's a beautiful story to leave us with. Thank you for almost blessing us with that early this morning. Shalini, thank you for joining us. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Shalini.
Thank you.
We hope that gave you a little taste of also what the Shakti residency holds, what it hopes to do in terms of its impact. We're going to head into a quick break. On the other side of the break, we have something entirely different. We're switching to a different conversation. The villain is speaking, and what we mean by that is we'll have Ye Kali Kali Aankhe's dark side. Season 2's actor Anchal Singh on her complex character. She'll be joining us right after the break.
I didn't mean to startle you.
We had some trees come down and a lot of things blew around, but we did okay.
Yeah.
Nothing major.
But boy, did Mother Nature get a freak on last night. It was pretty gusty. I mean, it was to the point where it sounded like a freight train going through when it came, and you could just see those trees bending pretty well. Even the stalwart, sturdy trees were going pretty good on the side, you know, being blown over. So lots of branches falling everywhere, smaller branches, hopefully not too big of branches, but you didn't want to be out in it.
All right, obsession, passion, and a dash of darkness. The wait is finally over for the second season of the psychological thriller Ye Kali Kali Aankhe Season 2. Now, the show kept people on the edge of their seat, and is back with more twists and turns and releases today, in fact.
Yeah, let's tell you a little bit more about it, because joining us live is Anchal Singh, hugely talented. She's playing the complex and the intriguing character of Purva on the show. We'll get into the skin of the villain. We'll understand what it takes to make a villain that stays with you. We'll also talk with her a little bit about the evolving landscape of women's roles in Indian cinema. How has the definition of a villain changed over time? Let's talk a little bit more about that. Anchal is joining us right here. Anchal, thank you for joining us bright and early in the morning. As we were just telling our audiences, it's coming out today. So what's the preparation like? How do you feel?
Yes, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited to be here. And since we are just like few hours away from the release, so there is so much of, it's weird. It's a combination of nervousness and excitement that we all understand, but there's also this sort of numbness because you know that you have given your best. Now it's upon the audiences to like it. So you mentally prepare yourself ki, okay, let me go into my Zen mode, let me be numb, and whatever best has to happen will happen. So coming back to of season 2, I think trailer is very interesting.
I think we... Oh, okay. So we're listening that line there a little bit, but let's hope we've got her back. Anchal, yeah. So like we were saying, the trailer looks really interesting, makes you really think and scratch your head on what's really going on. But let's talk about your character a little bit. And I love it when women can just go beyond playing the regular quintessential roles, right? Getting inside the skin of a dark villain. How was that like?
See, before the prep, no, you try and understand and break down your character in simple words. I like it the way Siddharth sir, our director, he puts it, कि कहानी ऐसे सुनाओ कि 6 साल के बच्चे को भी समझ आए और वो बोले अच्छा फिर क्या होगा next. So yes, the character looks very complex, but if you break it down and you get to the deepest corner of Purva's heart, you will realize that she actually has a childlike innocence and there is so much of genuine, true love that she has for Vikrant. And also, series 1 and even series 2 mostly is going to be from Vikrant's lens. So we are getting into Purva's life through his lens. Otherwise, if you actually think about it, how much do you know about Purva? You know that बचपन में वो उसके साथ दोस्ती करना चाहती थी, and then she realized that she loves him when she comes from that swimming pool scene, and you know she has actually counted the number of days of separation. So one thing that you know is that she's crazily, madly in love with him. The second thing you know about her is that she comes from an influential background.
Yeah.
And the father and daughter, their relationship is deeply intertwined. So you don't, so there's so much like why the bonding is there or what is missing. Basically what I want to say is that people see only these 2 things about Purva. The rest, whatever you know about her through Vikrant's lens, and his projection of her is obviously going to be as if she's the villain.
But Anchal, if we could just return to the point I think Sonal was making a little earlier, because I thought that was so fascinating that women's roles in general are also expanding. You don't just see catty, which is, you know, kind of a color we saw women painted in over the years. That's kind of changed. How do you feel on that?
Yeah, I mean, it is shattering because what happens is that what we see, we are all, I think, directly proportional to each other, because what we see on screen is actually an image of the society. So we are circulating a wrong thought process, I feel. Women have never been कि मैं मतलब जिंदगी भर सहती रहूँगी, मैं बहुत अच्छी हूँ, मेरे पे जुल्म करो, नॉर औरत इज़ लाइक कि अच्छा इसने मेरे साथ ऐसा किया, अब मैं इसकी ज़िंदगी बर्बाद कर दूँगी. You know, we all like human beings, like men, women, they all juggle between a different scale of emotions, and when they put into different consequences, their reactions are also different. So like somebody said that you are never the villain of your own story.
Yeah.
So now that we have so much of exposure to OTT content, we have great platforms, we have great series, we have short films, we have movies, and people are loving the content. We are giving them, they want to consume more. So they will have to now delve deeper into things, right? So I think it's a great time to be doing this.
Never the villain of your own story. That's a good one there. But talking about OTT, you know, it's an interesting time. We speak with so many OTT artists here, and they tell us that there's such good work, such good scripts also coming your way. But with that, so is competition, right? So many new faces being launched, and all of them equally talented. How are you dealing with that?
See, first of all, I feel that competition is always good. I'm not saying कि it's healthy होना चाहिए, all of that, but it keeps you on your toes. It's good to see that when it's good to see a good performance and feel like, wow, ये मुझे भी करना है ऐसा. I also want to do this, and then you work on your craft. So competition, I think, works. And having said that, I feel that all of us have a very different journey and a reason that why we are here. So it's such a, sometimes it irritates and frustrates me also, because you feel कि एक actor की journey को बहुत अच्छे से समझ सकता है actually में, क्योंकि हम सब स्ट्रगल बहुत करते हैं, चैलेंजेस होते हैं, एंड देन व्हेन एज एन एक्टर यू टॉक अबाउट स्ट्रगल एंड चैलेंजेस, तो एवरीबॉडी सेज कि हमारी जिंदगी में भी हैं, व्हिच इज अ फैक्ट, किसकी लाइफ में नहीं होती है. बट एक एक्टर ही एक्टर का अगर वो सपोर्ट नहीं करेगा और नहीं समझेगा और उसको एज अ कॉम्पिटिशन लेगा कि इसको नीचा दिखाना है, देन इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. एंड बट नाउ I have worked with Shweta in season 1 and now season 2. She is such a good example of how today's actors really are. She is helpful, she is there for you as a friend, and you know, you can be critical with one another, and you can still perform, do things together. So you know, a very healthy relationship between actors is possible also.
Yes.
Take us into the mind and heart of an actor, though. Tell us, for you, is OTT, putting out shows like this, is it soul satisfying? Is big screen still the big dream?
Why lie? Blockbuster किसको नहीं करना है? It's always great. I don't think I want to put myself into any category of actor. I should be able to do everything, and I want to get there. But one thing which is very important, and I've always envisioned my journey a certain way, is I want that people should know me for my talent first. And it is very difficult to get there. Matlab, like, let's talk about Vijay Varma, let's talk about Jaideep Ahlawat. They are like, look at the fashion sense of Vijay Varma. You know he's an incredible actor, but you are happy to see him being a fashionista also somewhere. So this combination is good. But if it's the other way around, no, then it's, I think that's not what I dream of. And I'm so grateful to God that I got something like Purva, and on a Netflix, you know, on a platform such as Netflix, which actually can't get bigger. My character was loved by people, and I have so many people coming to me whom I respect dearly and saying that I liked your work, you're a good actor. So I get little more confidence कि okay, अभी अच्छा ही होगा.
Nice. All right, Anchal, thank you so much for joining us this morning and good luck with season 2. We'll be watching to figure out how it actually works. Such interesting bits, no? On how getting... And look how she said that it's not... Even a negative character is loved if done right. I think that's such a critical piece here. But talking about critical pieces, let's take you through the next entertainment segment that we have for you. Controversies, shocking revelations and a dash of drama. The entertainment world is always buzzing with excitement, and this morning we've got you the inside scoop on all the juiciest stories that made headlines this week.
Right, we're not just leaving you with an update on Purva. What else is there? So, Nayanthara's fiery response to Dhanush, A.R. Rahman's shocking divorce announcement, that left all of us shocked, frankly. We were talking about it here too. And a whole lot more. Shosha brings you the breakdown of everything that's taken place in the entertainment world right here. Take a look.
What a week this has been for the Indian entertainment industry. Let's take a look at the top 5 newsmakers of the week. Nayanthara took to social media to accuse Dhanush of ignoring her request for 2 years for an NOC to include a footage from the film Nanum Rauridan in a recently released documentary Nayanthara Beyond the Fairy Tale. She added that Dhanush sent them a legal notice claiming a sum of rupees 10 crores as damages for featuring a 3-second clip of the film in the trailer. Dhanush's lawyer responded to Nayanthara's open letter asking it to be taken down within 24 hours or face legal action. In a shocking revelation, Oscar-winning music composer A.R. Rahman and his wife Saira Bano announced their divorce after being married for 29 years. The joint statement issued by their lawyer attributed this split to significant emotional strain in their relationship and tensions and difficulties leading to an insurmountable gap between them. Shortly after, their son A.R. Rahman took to social media and requested everyone to respect the family's privacy. During his Hyderabad concert as part of his Dilluminati tour, Diljit Dosanjh tweaked a few words of his songs after the Telangana government's notice to him to not sing tracks promoting alcohol, drugs or violence. Videos of the global star crooning songs where he changed alcohol to Coke went viral in no time. Brand Coca-Cola went on to respond to these videos, leading many to emphasize on how the soft drink brand has profited from attention as a result of the lyrics changes. Kanguva has found itself at the center of a brewing controversy. Jyotika stepped in and lashed out at reviewers slamming her husband Surya's film. She said that the negative reviews surprised her as it's not the first time that a film is portraying a woman being stalked and carrying double-meaning dialogues. But it was producer K.E. Nyanavil, Raja's wife, whose words added fuel to the fire. She admitted to how Disha Patni was cast in Kanguva just to look pretty and how the criticism towards the film is a targeted propaganda. Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah took to X and showered appreciation on Vikrant Massey, Rashi Khanna and Riddhi Dogra starrer The Sabarmati Report, which tells the story of the tragic Sabarmati train incident of 2002. While Modi lauded the film for bringing out the facts, Shah stated it defies the ecosystem with unparalleled courage and exposes the truth behind the fateful episode. Vikrant Massey had earlier said he received death threats as many felt that the film was agenda-driven. That's all for this week. Stay tuned for more updates.
Okay, and we are at the end of the show. And if you're someone who lives in Delhi, try to stay inside this weekend. We won't tell you like we usually do to go outside, to go have fun. Stay inside, enjoy a movie with your family and friends right here. For now, though, we're drawing the show to a close. Remember to give us your feedback, what you thought of the show and what you want to see more of.
We'll see you again Monday. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.